Hello. Happy Monday, everyone. Games! Video games! Being made. Happening. Right here. There he is. Video game. That's him. This man right here. Happy birthday. All right. So I've recognized a problem with our workflow. Okay. I've recognized one of the myriad of problems with our workflow. So creating little places like this to like figure out, oh yeah, we should have a puzzle here. Well, not a puzzle, but a thing to switch here and a shortcut back there. And, you know, maybe at some point we also make some puzzles. That would be cool. Doing all that is great and all, and we can lay out the basic outline of this, but I'm spending way too much time in Blender modeling like individual blocks of land and stuff. And then we get into the area and we're like, oh gosh, this place feels a lot bigger when you're running around inside of it. And I don't think we can come up with enough tiny little detail, 100 details per room, to actually make something like this viable. Like this is all cool and stuff, but like this whole area leading up to it is huge. Too huge, one might say. And so the next area that I'm going to be building is inside the cave. I've laid out 4, kind of 5 rooms. And I think what we want to do is I want to make a little placeholder texture that is a 1 by 1 by 1 unit block. I want to set it to triplanar so that no matter how I scale it, it's always that correct proportion, the correct scale. And then let's just, instead of building out these big fancy textured rooms, let's just build rooms out of blocks. Not as a final pass, but just to kind of help us get the scale right. I think that would be really good to do. And so that's what we're gonna do. That is the plan. That is the official plan. Actually, you know what? I've got a great example of this, if I can find it. Let's see here. Here we go. Here we go. Give me this image. Give me this image. Let's see if this actually expands to any reasonable size. Legos, yeah. So TF2 maps. There's a lot of like test maps that people make, and this is what they look like. And it's hard to tell on this grid, but there's actually, in tiny text in the corner of each of these big squares, specifies how many units in size it is. And so that makes it easier to figure out like, oh, well, I know that such and such TF2 class is able to jump this many units high with a big jump, or this many with an okay jump. So therefore, if I want to make this area inaccessible by that, let me just count the number of squares up. Okay, we're good. And so I think that would be a good way to make this happen. So that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna see how it goes. Do we want to have new image? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question, software. When we're applying a texture to, say, a block, in fact, let's go ahead and just start by making, let's put in our 99 here. New folder for, blocks. Let's just call it blocks. And let's make a new scene, which is a 3D scene called block simple. It's that simple. In that is going to be a static body, and that's going to have a collision shape defined as a box. And additionally, it's going to have a mesh of a box. And I'd like to texture that box slightly. And I think I want to give the upper texture a different color, similar to that TF2 screenshot. Is this where I want this to be? Like, because then it's not going to be like on the grid, really. Oh, this is going to be complicated. I guess maybe the default size should be 2x2. Okay. And that way, when I move it up by 1, there we go. Now it's a 2x2 grid on the ground, aligned to the grid nicely. Man, I'll let it remain super centered. Okay. So mesh. So if let's take one of these textures here, for instance. Yeah, see, there's a right away. How is there a way? I think I have to build this in Blender to make this work the way I want it to. All right, getting out Blender. Let's do it. This is going to be the easiest modeling that we've ever done. I love it. It's loading. Hey, look, it's done. It's the no, it's not. It's not actually done. Let's see. Using Blender to avoid the blender. It's a rough situation we're in. We also need, oh right, that was the thing I was gonna look at, is if I take, this is a 400 by 400 texture. If I block that onto this, and I say, use this, but make it a global or world triplanar. What is? I don't even know. No, no, come on now. Triplanar it. I know you can do it. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. Come on now. All right, hold on. New. New standard material. Block texture. And let's use, let's just use this grassy one here. Albedo, use grassy block. Okay, block texture goes on this. And in fact, let's make it slightly darker so we know that that's the correct one for now. UV, triplanar on. There we go, world triplanar on. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. How many repeats do we have here? 4. And that is a 400 by 400 texture. Yes, okay. So by default, you can override this, but by default, 100 pixels of an image corresponds to half of a unit. So 200 by 200 is 1 unit. So let's make this a 200 by 200 unit here. This is going to be our default side texture, and I'm kind of tempted to use orange, just like the old TF2 maps, orange and gray. It works for a reason, right? They did it for a good reason. We could also have a good reason, maybe. All right, so let's try it. There we go. And then I guess there is text option. How do we do text in this? Oh, there you go. Placeholder text. Okay, now how do I can just move this over here and then make it significantly smaller. There we go. 1 by 1. So we're gonna save that as PNG block 1. But then what is it? Control J to duplicate. Control Shift U to desaturate. That looks fine to me. That'll be our top texture. So save that as block 2. Now the reason I'm saving this as 2 separate files is because I don't want to get into overly complex UV mapping for what is literally a cube, and instead we're just going to use multiple textures. How big is the unit compared to the main character's height? I will show you. The character can jump up about, like, barely 1 block, I think. Maybe? I don't know. I might have tweaked the physics slightly. 2 blocks is definitely too high. The thing that you go up with the flowers and also the bridge, both of those ledges that, you know, you have to walk up some stairs or something to get up are 2 blocks tall. So the character is like less than a block tall, I think. All right, so we want to set up materials on the cube. The cube. Replace this with an image texture. Dabbletails art. Block. There it is. We'll fix the... We don't even need to fix the UV mapping. Because all we actually need to do is make a new image texture that is block 2, and then just assign it to the top, and let's also do the bottom face. Assign the second material. Okay, there we go. Perfect. That's literally it, because we're going to do triplanar. Block. Literally a block. Would it make sense to have ramps? So something goofy is going to happen with ramps. We can just rotate static bodies, and that will work. But it's going to do some dumb stuff. You will see. You will see. Oh wait, not save again. Export. Block. Okay. Now, get this block texture out of here, and get this block in here. And it's got the textures already lined up. So we should be able to just drag that in here.
If you need instructions on how to get through the hotel, check out the enclosed instruction book.
Okay. Now we are going to create our resources. Oh wait, that is a standard material, 3D. We're going to call that block 1 and block 2. All right, block 1. Straightforward. It is block 1. but World Triplanar is on. Block 2, similarly, it is the Block 2 image, but we're turning World Triplanar on. Now we open up our block object, editable children, and material overrides. Block 1 here, block 2 there, and that is supposed to work. That's supposed to be it. Let me try this. Close it, open it. Hey. What's the deal with this UV mapping? This isn't UV mapping the way I wanted it to. I said triplanar. Don't think I didn't. I know what I said. Okay, how is this not working? Like, it was just working. It was just working. What did I do to make it work? Hang on. I just had it working. It's no longer working. My block. It's not triplanar. It's not the second UV, right? No, that's not it. Turn off triplanar.
My block.
Oh wait, is the standard material override not set properly? Well, it looks like it's set. Okay, let me try setting it here. Maybe that's what I need. I guess that's what I need. Sure. That shouldn't be necessary, but okay. It should have been good to just do it on the texture itself. Okay, there we go. Got it. Perfect. Classy. Classy, even. Okay. So just to demonstrate it's the size of a block, let's get out my block here. So there you go. There is one block. Yes, you can jump up just barely one block. So that's pretty convenient information to know. And you cannot get up a 2-block height. That is too high. So that's what we're going to use as kind of our metric for building out areas. All right. Oh, and ramps was the question. Here's what's... Okay, so triplanar. Triplanar is interesting in that the texture, as I rotate this around and everything, you'll notice the texture is not... It's like it's sliding through space. And that is kind of what I want, because that means as I snap it to the grid, the texture helps me see what the levels grid is. So that's actually going to make that a lot easier. And something weird happens as we rotate. Let's see if I can get a better view of this. Something kind of weird happens as we rotate. The texture kind of fades between the different axes. And it gets super weird when talking about the top and bottom as we go on this axis. Well, no. Oh, actually, it's not because... yes, because we're using different materials for those two faces. So we can do something like this for a grid. And it's like, it's not going to work anymore exactly because, well, now it's a square root of 2. So that's a little bit different. But we can still make ramps. We just have to rotate the cube. A little weird, but still doable. We could build some other stuff in Blender if we really wanted to. Or we can actually, I think, we would be able to... Scaling this would be weird. Yeah, because it will only scale in that direction. So I couldn't get like... I couldn't flatten this square into a diamond shape. Welcome in, Boshi. So yeah, that's what we're going to use as kind of the building block for blocking out areas. For the most part, I don't think we're going to do a ton of ramps in the game. We'll do a little bit. So we may play around with that. It's going to be really case by case on how we end up doing the final pass. Like, this area looks okay the way we've got it set up. But with the grassy stuff, like, this isn't a very grassy texture yet. It is very, I don't know. I guess it's a little bit golf course fairway kind of stuff going on here. You may remember the old grass block we did ages ago. Was it this one right here? Which we're gonna fall through the ground. Yeah, it's over there. That had like little tufts. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite genres. Was the old Paper Mario RPGs, the old ones. Good crunchy numbers in the combat, and so we're doing an RPG like that. So yeah, I think Room F looks a little bit nicer because we've added in a lot more vegetation with the multi-mesh and a little bit of nice details and stuff. Whoops. Hello? Why does it do that? But again, the area is just too big for the amount of stuff we want to put here. Like, this feels so tiny compared with the actual scale of the room. I think some areas would look cool that way, like maybe some big expansive deserts. I don't actually even plan on having a desert area. But yeah, we need to make sure going forward we're blocking out things and kind of taking them for a test drive before we crack open Blender and start, okay, now we've got the general plan and layout and scale. Now let's model it and actually add like some vertex detailing like we did with the little landscape blobs here, the little polygon blobs, which honestly, for how cheap they are to create, it's a fun effect, and it is more reminiscent of the old school 3D RPGs. All right, we're gonna make room H. Let's get out. All right, let's put Blender away. We're done with that. Open recent. All right, the cave mock-up. All right, so here we go. Moss Cave. This is the mini dungeon that we're gonna build. Tentatively, I've got that we're going to go, let's get out big bright red. I'm gonna go through room H, too bright, through room H, and you're gonna get into a very big room, well, big for the dungeon, room I, which is gonna have a large pool of water with some moving lily pads, so light platforming challenge. The camera will pan to show a cave, a big cave path up ahead, but it's over across the water. You can't get there right now. So you're gonna have to cross the lily pads into room J. Room J has a little bit of upwards platforming. You can't really fall off significantly. There will be some fights against some of those new stalactite or stalagmite enemies we designed. So you're gonna get up there into room I, where you're gonna cross some more lily pads and then do a gear interaction. You're back in room I. This connects. This is all one big weird shaped room. And the reason for that is on the other side, you will be able to interact with something that is holding these lily pads in place, like a little bit of some rubble or like a stalactite in the water, stalagmite. And once you break that or interact with it, it's going to cause these lily pads to flow down a small waterfall into that pool. And so now there's more lily pads down here. But the lily pads that you used to get across to that spot are now gone. So you have to carry on through room K, which loops around. I don't know exactly what we're going to do with K. Right now it's just a hallway. Loops to an upper part of room I where you can hop down, get back on the lily pads, but this time you can go across. That leads underneath room K to room L, which is starts over here, where you fight the boss, old Jeremiah. And then you exit on the other side of the river, and that's the end of the mini dungeon. There's not really any puzzling, it's just do a loop. I don't have any puzzles here. The actual dungeon one will have some actual puzzles of things like you have to think about like how you're moving things around in the area and keep in mind like, well, wait, if I move that here, that blocks off this path there. Now I gotta, do I find another way around? What do I do? Nothing in these games gets particularly like, it's not a puzzle game. A lot of times these games, the puzzles are just there to kind of just add a little bit of texture to what is essentially just a fun combat system. The puzzles are just set dressing. All right, so we're going to start with making room H, and then I guess we'll move on to I, J, K, and eventually L, which, I don't know. And we'll, if people have ideas on things to add to this, because we're doing blockouts this time, we should be able to edit things quickly. That's the plan, at least. All right, so let's start with, I'm tempted to just like, I've been copy pasting these room objects, but let's just make a completely fresh room this time around. All right, so as always, we are going to create a folder for all of the specific stuff. No, actually we're not, because we don't have a Blender file to pull in this time. So we're just making scene H. Room H for chapter 1. There it is. Wow. Beautiful. Let's actually make a folder node for the blockout. And now let's pull in our block. There it is. There's the start of the room right there. We'll put floor at 0. And because of what we've done here, we can scale out like that. And the terrain, the texture, because it's a triplanar, it's just gonna work.
That's almost a year, JSSM gasp.
Theron, thank you. The message so nice, you said it twice. 26 months, almost a year that you've been here. That's really something. Thank you, Theron. I appreciate the constant support. Oten, welcome in. We are about to block out a new room of the game. Let's see. Does this plot me on 000? No, it doesn't. Why doesn't it? I feel like it's supposed to. Let's do a quick peek at that. That'd be our scene manager code, which is what spawns the player. Just adds it to current scene. And H is just at 000. Blocks are 000. That's weird. That's weird. I don't know why it adds it. Oh, there it is. Sets position to -6 for some reason. There we go. Set him on 000. There we go. Okay. Great start. Great start. It's a little dim in here. It is a cave, admittedly. But we're gonna have like back cave walls. How do we want to light the cave? That's one question. We'll have to figure out what the environment is gonna be like. All right, let's scale this up a little bit more. And let's add another one of these, which is normal scale. And that's gonna be the entrance to the room. That's the tab. You know, you gotta have the tab in these. What are you making there? So we are making a. Did you ever play Paper Mario? The old ones, because it's basically that. We got fun little whimsical, happy world with flat characters and fun combat against zany enemies. Wow. And that's the general idea. Combat engine actually works just fine. So now it's just a matter of, now we need to make 100 rooms and 100 enemies. Yes, Bug Fable. I mean, that's what we got on soundtrack tonight. So that is what we're making, is one of those. I don't know, it's like a subgenre. It's like, it's not just an RPG, it's not just Western RPG, it's like this very niche genre that I can only think of 3 games that fit the mold perfectly. There's some others that have elements of the genre, but it's like Paper Mario 64, Thousand Year Door, and Bug Fables are the only ones that very specifically scratch that itch. There's not a lot that hit it just right. And so that's basically what we're working on, is that. I've got, let's see. Hang on, let me see if I've got this. Open recent. Do we have a world mock-up somewhere? Maybe not. I don't know where I put that. Cave mock-up. I don't have the... Oh, it's a PSD. I've got it in Photoshop instead of Krita. Oh well. Well, yeah. So we are expanding our world. We only have a few rooms so far, so we need to fix that. All right. Well, here's an issue. If I want the camera to be a little bit different here. What about, okay, here's an idea. Here's an idea for us, everybody. We've got the new, last time we made a new mechanism for camera control within maps. And we just provide it with the desired rotation, and it slowly curves around to it. Yeah, I really love the crunchy numbers in combat. It's just the right amount. It lets you actually think several turns ahead strategically. And RPGs that just have like, oh, you did 107 damage. I can't really hold that number in my head very well and think of 107 of something. But it's like, you dealt 3 damage. And in Paper Mario, that's like, ooh, okay, that's pretty good. If I do that 2 more times, we win. So that means I'll take, I'm gonna get hit twice. If I can super guard one of those, we're home free. I love that. I love that level of strategy. I think it works really well. And then just a nice whimsical world. I think Bug Fables was very well designed and had very good world building. But it was weirdly heavy for me. Like, everything was very political intrigue and real world consequences, and everyone had to be a real person in the world. And I respect that, but I kind of enjoyed the whimsy of the Paper Mario ones, where it was just like, there's an ancient ruins here, and there's a quiz show. Sure. All right, I'm down. I like it. I feel like with a lot of things, this usually comes to mind with like Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. You can, if you start really seriously, then you can't really go funny and then go back to serious at any point. It's like, it's hard to have a funny moment in a serious toned game but in a goofy game, a serious tone feels very impactful. I'm circling around an idea there, and I can't quite grasp it. But there's an idea somewhere in that mess of word salad that I just spewed forth. Target camera rotation on the camera code. Here we go. This right here, the lerp speed. I think what we probably want to do is have like a default lerp rate and a current lerp rate. And we're going to use the current lerp rate when we are rotating the camera around, but we'll be able to modify it with the camera control. Do we need to have a different one for different things? Yes, I do like that. Bug Fables, yeah, they did some really interesting things with combat. And I actually considered doing some wacky stuff like, oh, let's have 2 partners out at once, but 1 main character, because then we get the best of both worlds. And then I started giving that some thought and realized that's a mess to deal with. I think 1 partner works pretty nicely. One thing is that Paper Mario Super Guard is completely overpowered. Yeah, they did a good job of making it unique that you have to actually make some strategic decisions about who's in front. And even some badges that play off that as well, like extra defense for whoever's in back, for instance. Now that I'm looking at this, I don't love it. I don't love it, and I'm wondering if we should instead do a tween instead of a lerp here. It was more granular. I get it. Like, when you level up, you can choose between getting 1 more HP for each party member or 3 medal points. Versus in Paper Mario, you get 5 more HP, but just for Mario, or 3 badge points. And then flower points are in there as well, but, you know, that's its own thing. It makes it feel like you're barely getting any more HP when you're getting 1. To be fair, Paper Mario seems like it is targeted for everyone versus Bug Fables seeming like it's targeted for fans of Paper Mario who want more of a challenge. Gosh, Paper Mario, Danger Mario strat is completely broken. You just stack a bunch of power rushes and then just intentionally drop your HP to 5, and then you just destroy everything. And there's nothing the enemy can do about it. Spike shield, ice power, and then you can just jump on anything except for swoopers that are stuck to the ceiling. Yeah, I'm starting to think this camera control zone, I want to do something different, I think. Oh, and I went full hard mode and I enjoyed it. Some of those bosses gave me a lot of trouble, but it felt like a fun challenge. I want to have some optional stuff in this game that not like a full-on hard mode kind of thing, but I'm thinking actually a side, like a different mode of play that you can access that is basically almost like a roguelite of, here's your pit of 100 trials, but it's completely infinite. It will not end, but it will give you some strategic choices. There was a good mod for Thousand Year Door a while back called The Infinite Pit, and it had some very fun ideas I want to play off of. Where it basically was like, every 10 levels, you'll get a random thing. It could be a badge, it could be a party member, it could be a shine. But other than that, it's like, all right, see how far you can go. See how many floors you can make it. The only problem I have with that mode is that, like, if you're decent at the game, you're going to get, like, well over 100 floors before you just have bad luck with the enemies. And I do like that that mod actually buffed the enemies the deeper you got. That was a great thing there. Oh, that robot bee was rough. Okay. Camera rotation. So I've got these camera control zones set up. And I was thinking the idea on this would be like when you are in a certain part of the map, for instance, like when you're back here in this part where it's hard to see the character, what we need to do... Oh, jeez. Get away. Get away. Like when you get back here and you can't see the character as well, what we need to do is like rotate the camera so you can see him around that ledge. Because otherwise, see, yeah, we kind of peek around the ledge a little bit. And that's cool. That's cool. And the way we're doing that is when you're in the zone, the camera wants to rotate 20 degrees. And when you're out of the zone, it rotates back to normal. It's fine. And the whole reason this is now suddenly a problem is if I rotate this, it's gonna mess with my grid. I don't want it throwing off my grid. Can't mess with the Emperor's grid. Like I could just have this whole area wrapped in a big control zone if I wanted to. That would kind of fix the issue. As long as I hide it so I can't click on it, then yeah, that would completely fix this. Just say 30 degrees. Now let's see what happens when we go here. So it'll do an initial pan, but other than that, it's fine. Yeah, that looks fine. So now we're trying to figure out like what's the right size for these cave rooms that we're gonna be making. What's the right scale? Also, can we get some light in here, please? Cave. We were making some little luminous fungus yesterday that seemed pretty nice for this. Okay. So what we want in room 1, let's bring up our plans. Let's bring up the plans. Room H, basically just set the stage and give us a save box. Oops. Do I want like downward panning maybe? Or upward panning at some point? Probably. So the first room doesn't need much. It doesn't need secrets. It's the foyer. There's going to be a save point, and then you go into the cave proper. So this might be the right scale for it and everything, which is hilarious. That we could maybe even build this one out of blocks, like we did that one little secret room behind the waterfall. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Do we want it wider? Maybe. And you know what else is we should have something to differentiate the front from the back. So let's do something like... something like... kind of like this. We'll get there. We'll get there. Hang on. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. And then kind of like that. We're getting there. I'm trying to visualize. Like I don't know, dripping water, lots of stalactite, stalagmites, the whole 9 yards. Let's try this. We do need to get some lights in here. It's been challenging. The whole process of the battle system alone was a big undertaking. Like it was exactly as hard as I expected it to be. How about that? It was exactly as hard as I expected it to be. But it was fun. That's the thing, is it was fun to do it. Is there a way I can... Okay, there we go. Is there a hotkey for that? R. R for scale. No, R for resize, presumably. Where's the... Oh, okay. Interesting. Ah, that's maybe no? Okay, I don't know why. And then W for move. Well, that's just Blender. Okay, so do something like that. Turn-based is tricky. Rewarding, I will say. It was very fun to set this all up. Okay, let me see if this works. Just like physically works. Yeah, look at that. All right, so we got solidity there. Okay, one thing is we need to make sure that you enter on the side of the room right here so that you kind of see more of the area as you approach. And we could rotate this a little bit if we wanted. Like if we wanted to come in on the side of this room, if that would make this room more interesting, we can do that. Let's try getting some of these rock walls in. Let's see if that pretties it up a bit. It's gonna be hilarious if everything's just fake walls. Like we're not actually modeling anything in Blender anymore. We're just building it out of pieces we've already finished modeling. Rock. Was it rock platform? Is that the one? That's not the one I meant. Rock wall. There we go. This big blob. Because what we can do with this is just scale up. Not that. Scale that up to get a nice flat-ish wall. And then we just hide this wall. And then boom, there's our cave wall right there. Incredible. Amazing. How were we doing stalactites, though? That was... Node 3D, rename to decor. Reset that scale. What if I just put a big rock poking down? Scale it that way. Is that even visible from our camera angle? No, it is not. We need to bring it down a little bit more. And also we need to figure out the lighting in here. Okay, now you can kind of see the top of it, but like barely. All right, there we go. We got a little something there. Move it back towards the wall a bit. Let's get some light. Let's make some light. I feel like we want light coming from the mouth of the cave, which is right here. But more than that, because yeah, that's not gonna fly. Yeah. Okay, that gives us a little something, Wait, can I? Do I want a spotlight? How would this work? Because that would look kind of cool. Because that kind of implies the edge of the cave a little bit more. Because you get this harsher. That just looks like a spotlight at that point. I would love a nice boxy cone of light. Let me Google something here. I want to have an invisible light blocking mesh. If you want to use a horizontal plane on a mesh instance, all you have to do is flip faces in the inspector. This will invert the normal direction of the plane, making it point down towards the sun. What? What? Plane below the rim that's invisible for the player, but blocks the sunlight. Oh, okay. Yes. All right, let's try something. Let's just try some things. A rec light. I don't know what that is. Got directional light. Specifically what I'm wanting to try is there's light coming from here, but this invisible wall, not here. Oh, we need to move this one. This invisible wall here is blocking it, so you get a hard line shadow. Gotcha, maybe not. So let's see here. What can I do? Let's see, edit children. See, if I make this thing invisible, then yeah, it's not going to, let's change Bug Fable's music real quick. Ah, yeah, there we go. Well, one dumb idea, one super dumb idea that would technically work, I think. Well, no, it wouldn't quite work the way I want it to. Let's see, visibility. Let's see, block sunlight. There's a setting for this on the mesh instance. Shadow casting setting. Okay, here we go. So edit children. Go to the mesh. And then under the geometry tab, cast shadow, shadows only. We'll see what that looks like. Huh. Doesn't look like it's casting much of a shadow. Maybe if I had, instead of an Omni light, that doesn't make sense. I've messed with Unreal, not in any meaningful way, but a bit. All right, so this light is coming straight down diagonally, and there's no shadow here from this thing. So let's check that again. This one right here. It is visible. Okay, when I have it on. Oh, I'm not even getting a shadow there. I'm not even getting a shadow here. I don't have environments turned on. I don't have an environment set yet. That's probably it. Do I have a YouTube channel? I do, but I don't really use it. Well, I have two. I've got one that's just the VODs, and you would probably not find that organically. It's basically just like if people want to look up an old video that I did or an old Twitch stream, I just export them all to YouTube one after the other every time. The other one, I do some edited stuff, but it's very rare, and it's mostly just little trailers of games that I've done. And this, I've not done any edited stuff for. Okay, so what we need then probably is a world environment. Let's make an environment. Let's give it a sky. Give it a sky. Procedural sky. Sure, let's just start with this. No, there is not, as a matter of fact. Wait, this is really weird. I'm not getting... What have I... Wait, did I not turn on shadows here? Ah. Oh. I forgot. You have to turn on shadows, or else they do not work. That is what they do. Cool. All right, so now in the geometry tab, shadows only. There it is. Okay, so now this light here, this light needs to be a little bit better. So instead of this directional light, let's try the Omni light we were talking about. Let's see what this looks like here with the shadows every night in my dreams. Weirdly enough, not getting a shadow that way either. Oh, because I have to turn it on. What did I just say? No, I don't want to be here. I want to be here. Okay, there we go. The hard light of the K. Oh, see, that's a nice effect right there. I like that. I like that a lot. So we exit from here. Save point over here, which forces you to kind of see the cool little shadow effect you've got of the cave light. Can I blur this light a little bit more? Transmitted. That doesn't help. That's not a good description. Light, energy, indirect energy. Yes, more indirect energy. I don't know what that's going to do. Looks about the same. Wait, I can mess with these settings while we have it running. So let's do that. Let's pull this over, and I'm going to start just messing with settings. All right. All right, chat. Here we go. All right. Ooh, yep, that's energy. That's indirect energy is doing nothing that I can see. Volumetric fog, nothing. Size, nothing. Negative. Ooh. Dark light. Specular. Not much there. Shadow bias. Interesting. Don't get it. Normal bias. Okay. Reverse coal face. No. Transmittent. Nothing that I can see. Opacity. Yeah, just how harsh are the shadows? I want them to be nice and dark. Blur. Blur those shadows. Maybe. I think this would be more realistic, given that it's coming from a cave opening. There's going to be like lots of light rays coming from the outside. So I think a bit of blur makes sense here. How's the combat? It is almost completely identical to TTYD right now. I don't have a star power system. I don't have a super guard system yet. I am going to change how super guards work. I think super guards are way OP in Thousand Year Door. Because once you get good at them, you can basically just not take damage for the rest of the game. If you know what the enemy attacks are, you just don't have to worry about damage ever again once you're good at super guards. That's broken. That means the game is not as fun anymore for good players. So, super guards. Here's how we're going to fix super guards. And this may be divisive of a change. Super guards are going to have the same frame window as regular guards. It will be a different button. When you press it, it will... Well, not when you press it. When you successfully select to do a super guard in lieu of a regular guard, to do a counterattack, that will actually cost you this game's flower point equivalent. So if you don't have... Whoops, what did I just do? If you don't have any to spend, you cannot super guard. So it is a resource you have to think about using. I think we need a more yellow light. Limited super guards. Come on, give me some yellow here. Hello? Yellow? Red? Anything? That's weird. It doesn't... Huh. I wonder if it has to rebase. Oh wait, did it change? It might have changed. Oh, I have to... That's weird. Hang on. Okay, if I make raw yellow... Okay, there we go. That is... Super Guard... Sorry, in Bug Fables they call it Super Block, and all it is, it's the same button but a tighter timer, so it's just how good you do. Reduce damage by 1 for a regular block, but reduce damage by 2 for a super block. That's fine. In Paper Mario, it is press one button to do a guard, which reduces damage by 1, or the other button, which gives it a tighter window for a super guard, which is you take no damage and you deal 1 damage to the enemy. But the window is very tight. And that's the one I'm gonna limit how much you can use it. Okay, that looks pretty cool. That looks good. All right, so now that we got a working shadow, incredibly, let's mess with this rock wall a bit more. That's too... I need a nice crisp edge here on this one. Like, kind of like that edge there. And then we can just hide this. And boom, there we go. Incredible. Then we just have to add a lot of visual interest in the form of more stalactites. I've got some fun variations on how status effects can combine. Which, under the hood, it's just more status effects. See, that's what we don't want. That's what we don't want right there. go. This is basically invisible, though. Just flip this around. Not really going to see much of that, unfortunately. Let's get more of those mushrooms. How did we do the mushrooms in that other, in room H2? Let's get some of those in here. Or G2, it was room G2. Yeah, look at these little guys. These guys are great. Get one of these. Long boys. Some of them long boys. Okay, it was just a blue light with one of the mushroom models, and that's it. So we can do that. And I did add a little collision to them just to, you know, just to deal with that. All right, so add a little mushroom in here. There he is. There he is. And we'll give him a nice. Oh, actually, let's make this one of the big ones. Big but flat. And then let's give it a nice light under it. Give it a nice blue light. But it doesn't need to cast shadows. Just needs to make this area of the room have some light. That's it. Ooh, little bit harsh there on the underside right now, and also no collision shape. Okay, move it back in there a bit more. Sorry, what's your problem here? Light scale. It's fine. I'm not worried about the scale. Okay, add a little static body with a little bit of a collision shape. A little bit of a cylinder shape here. Okay, that might be good enough there. Double check that. Yeah, there we go. Still kind of clipping into that wall a little bit, but that's fine. We'll push it back just a hair. Much better. Okay, this ground, we may want to use some of the stone rock platform model we made. I think we don't need the whole thing. The whole scene we made. I think we can get away with just the GLB because we have these platforms already for that. Let's just add that right here. And then scale it up. Let's see. 5, nope, 4, 5. That should do it, I think, just like that. That's a little bit rough looking. Maybe we can fix that a bit. I guess we don't need that because it's going to be underneath other stuff. So can we get away with this and then duplicate? Hang on, wait. I got it. I see exactly what to do here. Something like that. Just a slight little ledge going on. And then this one only needs to be 2x2 or 4x4. Negative 1.5. Get it right in there. Duplicate, pull it over, hide this one that has the actual physics. That's looking good. That's looking good. We have to make 100 rooms, guys. Can you believe that? I can. At least 100. True. Probably more. It's gonna be fine though. It's gonna be great. We're gonna do amazing things. More than 6. Probably more than 6. All right, so for this one, let's increase that, decrease that. That does not look good though. So instead of 3, 1, let's go 1, 3, 90 degrees. Wrong one. Sorry, not talking to you, talking to you. 1, 3, 90 degrees. Looks good to me. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. Let's get a look. Let's get a better look here. Okay, save point here. We do need a wall there, an invisible wall. Like this one. Easy. All right, yeah. Do some co-working here. Absolutely. Okay, that's gonna block a little bit of light there, which is fine. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to copy this whole thing. There we go. Okay, this needs to be copied to here. And then, is that everybody taken care of? Is that a full wall? Maybe the, something seems off with the mushroom clipping through the wall like that. Can you use guys with some vines or something? Probably. Actually, what I can probably do is rotate it slightly. Take this here, take this, and just tilt it down a bit. Kind of hide it a bit more. See if that looks all right. There's still a little bit of it clipping through, but it's better. It's closer to what we want. Actually, what we should probably do is take this, get that in there. Just to give the wall a little bit, oops, give the wall a little bit of something. Now we got some proper fungus here. Okay, now copy. Move these into a node, copy it. Huh. Okay. Now copy these into this node. Now move this node. Make it smaller. Significantly smaller. Get the light coming out. And do not include the collision for that one. Light is a little bit close there. Scoot that out a bit and make this one a little bit smaller. Okay, we need wallage over here. This is a goofy way of doing this, but it is working. Bug variables? Resize. Okay, I think this kind of works. A little something under here would be good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to seal everything. Environment, I guess, needs to be black or something. I don't know exactly. Actually, there we go. Let's see what that looks like. Whoa. Oh, it got dark in here. Oh, it kind of got dark in here. I wasn't prepared for this. It got dark. Spooky dark. Yeah, it went past mood lighting and into scary. We need a little bit less of that. It almost works. It almost works for what we want. For those lights to blend, we can, let's see, we can blur the shadow a bit, but that doesn't really help a lot. Do you mean like in this area here, where it's like yellow here, blue here kind of thing? Because one thing we could do is just not have the blue right there and just move that mushroom somewhere else. that is the cheap solution. Plus, that gets us a little bit more light over here, which helps. And then it's just pitch black over here. Which actually, that would be a great place to hide a secret. Right? I don't like that I think what I need is my environment. I need to change this to a sky, but no, that's not gonna work. It's kind of like what I want is just I want everything below a certain level to just be black. Like, just to cut this kind of stuff out. But we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. But yeah, what if we had a little secret? Oh yeah, save points will probably have a little glow. You're right. We haven't really designed a save point. I'm thinking cylinder coming out of the ground of light, like little glowy cylinder. You stand in it, and it's got a rotating floppy disk, old school floppy disk icon. That's it. That's the save point idea. I think what we need here maybe is to extend this out. Yeah, this. That might help us a bit. Yeah, see, like right here, this looks good. This is what I want. Is that it's just nothing. Well, and to get that, I just replace the sky. You know? Okay, hang on. Right here. Look at what we got here. What happens if I just change this to black? What do we get? This still looks the same, but now I get what I want, which is I don't have to worry about those little patches. I think that's what I want. Now this makes it difficult to work in this environment like this. Oh, what if, hang on. Can I do like this, but then just, yeah, then just take the energy down when I'm not using it. Oh, now we're in the pink zone. Yeah, all right, there we go. Okay, we'll do this, and then when we're done with it, just turn the lights out. A little extra treasure of some kind. We haven't really decided on the collectibles, but we do need some. We definitely need some. So since this area is going to be basically pitch black, boy, this is hard to work in, huh? Let's just add a little thing here. And maybe an extra mushroom. Maybe an extra little mushroom around the corner. A little mushroom around the bend, just around the mushroom bend. But I don't want that stem visible. You hear me? You do not show your stem to people. Pieces of a machine. Yes, I mean, obviously a big gear is the obvious one. However, that is taken. See, now that I've got all my, let's see, blocks. What I should do is display all these and then just hide the group when I'm not using it. That makes this significantly easier, I'm sure. So bring this back a bit. For solidity's sake. Take this platform, move it out here, I guess. Just so we can make sure that everything is squared away visibility-wise. Okay, make it bigger. That's fine. There we go. Okay, and then we'll have a little extra treasure over here for you as a treat, as a special treat just for you. Let's see. Wait, right, it's resize. Keep forgetting that. All right. Oh wait, this is the goofy one though. These are the two that are special. So I need a separate light blocker. Just so I'm not disabling those. There we go. But these guys can disappear. Oh yeah, something more organic. There is a bit of a soft theme in this game about like animals versus machines. Very Sonic the Hedgehog, weirdly enough. Okay, so this, no, this. Oh, right, Q. Okay, mushroom can come out a bit more. Let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, it's not like a hard set theme, but oh, floor. All right, hide the floor so I can see the real floor. I mean, that's fine. It's fine doing that. There we go. Okay. Show the false floor again. And also, give me another one of these. Moved to here-ish, I guess. And we'll put some kind of treasure back there. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, okay. That mushroom looks pretty awful. Yeah, we don't want the light to give it away too much here. We can scale this up more. Just make this light less apparent for now. All right, so let's take this world environment light, take it down. You can't see a thing over here. Jeez. I mean, I guess that's the point. Is that from a distance, I want it so that from over here you can't see this much until you start walking into the corner and you're like, oh, look at that. There's a room over here. And then there's like some kind of little treasure. And then you go back, and that's it. So that's not good. Don't like that. But yeah, I want this light to be further obscured. I want more obscuring of the light there. Can I instead do sky? Procedural sky. And then just change the energy of that. Yes, okay. That is much easier to work in, it looks like. Okay, so what we need is for this big rock to be more in the way than previously thought possible. And this big stinking mushroom to be more tucked away than previously thought necessary. All right, so then turn this off, and then, yeah, then we've got nice black cave background, which is good. Okay, that might be subtle enough, at least, if you're coming in right here. Because it's like, we want to be on the player's side here. We want to be like, hey, player, did you see what's going on over there? Actually, no, we want that when they come for the save point. They'll come over, maybe the save point will be up here. But like when they first enter the room, it'll be, and then there's just that little bit of light over there. Something over there in the darkness? Hey, what's going on over here? Well, gosh, golly, isn't there just a little treasure over here? What's that? I don't know. Sure is interesting. Don't want that though. That's too. We need more static. We need the walls. We need the walls here. Bring out the blocks. Bring out the blocks. This block right here. This block right here is not doing a good enough job. It needs to be big. Big block. How's that gonna look? How's that gonna look? Okay, if I do this now. Yeah, see, that's that corner. It's too much. I need less. I need less wall now. Okay, so one over, but then a second one at an angle. Just to keep you from going behind the black too much. Whoops, turn that off. Some kind of texture for the darkness. Whoops. Let's see. Let me see if I can sell myself on that. Now, do you mean like in the area that you're going to? Or do you mean this area? Because this area being super black is kind of scary and, ooh, I don't want to go back there. Okay, you think the transition area looks fine. It's just this area looks too dark. Yeah, we got a little bit of bioluminescent mushroom. But part of that is the puzzle. Is I want the secret to be like, oh, well, save point is over here. Let me just grab that. Doop, and now I'll continue on my merry way towards the next room. La 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 la. So it's like partially I want it to be very, very little drawing your attention to this direction. Just looks like the lack of a level. Maybe if the light blur was a little bit nicer, like a little bit more. We have it at 5. Okay, 10 is the max. What does that look like? Nope. I mean, maybe if the player started a little bit more over here to where there's like, I guess perhaps the problem as it stands now is too much of the screen is void. Like if you're over here, this being black doesn't seem like a problem, right? It's like right now, these dark areas are just like, it's dark, it's cave, it's dangerous, don't go that way. But when you're standing right here, it's like, okay, where's half my screen? And then it's a little bit, maybe, what about, let's see, let's try some things. Let's try some things with this. Maybe some tiny mushroom? Can we make tiny mushroom? It's like I don't want to give away the bit too easily. And maybe by just having smaller, lower energy lights, that helps. Okay, that's nothing. I mean, maybe that's good. It's more subtle. Let's see if that's any good. Maybe if I sprinkle in enough of these. Let's see if I can make this look actually decent. Let's see here. Can I delete this? Can I just delete this stem? How about that? Let's just get rid of this in the dumbest way possible. There we go. Look, it's gone. Incredible. We did it. Okay, let's try something like this. Small shrooms. It's like a camera traces once you started going that way. Maybe something like that. I'm gonna try this of just decorating this area with tiny mushrooms on the wall and such. I think these little clusters could look very nice if the engine is cool with me having a lot of light sources. That kind of looks nice. That kind of looks a little nice. Kind of adds a little bit more to it. It's still totally dark. Now, are you saying like the camera locks right here, and as you get past a certain point, then the camera kind of pans over to show like, yep, this level keeps going. You got it. You figured it out. That could be pretty nice. Because then we could actually lock the camera over here in such a way where it barely shows anything over there. Like, so that most of the area is just this. We don't have a system in place yet for locking the camera, but we could make it happen. Actually, yeah, we can make that happen. Huh. How do we make that happen? Okay, okay. While in zone, change parameter to value. How do we do that? Let me look at my camera code that we've got here. Is it? I don't know what it is. Huh. Yeah, either a zone that locks it in this initial spot or a zone that unlocks it once you get past a certain part. But yeah, either way. Either way, we have a temporary target property that we can set. And the camera lerps towards the target position unerringly fast. But we could soften that a bit, probably. But yeah, basically setting temp target to a different node. So can we maybe we instead say you have to set a property name and then the value? No, because we need a value and a reset value. Set it equal to? Camera control zone. I guess let's just make a separate thing that you can set for camera target, which is a node 3D object of some sort. So if rotate degrees, then do that. If rotate degrees, then do that. If camera target is set, then camera dot temp. I don't remember what exactly temp target. The non-player target object gets that. And then change it back when you leave the area. That should do it, actually. Let's try this. This is going to be interesting. Not that room, this room. So, we're going to have let's store our camera control here. Normal focus is going to be right here-ish. We'll see what we can do. I can add some kind of code for modifying the speed that the camera shifts between the two, I think. All right, so next we're gonna add one of these entities, mechanisms, camera control zone. Oh, look at that! It's even purple when it's not in use. Let's lighten it up in here so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so while you are in this camera control zone, which covers this much area, while you are there, it changes the camera target to this. Wow. Okay, let's try it. Now it still bounces up with the player, which I don't like. We can change that. But then when I go too far, it's gonna snap. Yeah, it's gonna snap. We'll make it not do that. But that's a good. That's a step in the right direction. I think we're onto something here. All right, camera control zone code. Exactly. Yeah. Lerp rate. And that's going to control. Yeah, that controls the rate of the camera rotation, which is fine. Default lerp rate. Current lerp rate. This should be current rotation lerp rate. Let's just change this back to a static for now, or to constant, and change this to movement lerp rate, which is going to default to 1.0, which is snap. That is here. And then if we change this, yeah, fixed camera sometimes. Sometimes. All right, so we're gonna use lerp rate, movement lerp rate specifically. Oops. Just let me copy paste. All right. And now camera control zone, movement lerp rate, decrease it by a lot. When you're in this zone, no. What's our other camera control zone? Right up here. Camera defaults for this room, 30-degree rotation and a lerp speed of minus 80%. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, well, no, it needs to be more than that, doesn't it? Oh, I know why it's wanting to follow the the player's horizontal. Let's just drop that for now. I don't really know what to do with this whole X offset thing. Oh, a little secret. Secret. All right, good. Can't go back there. Okay. That's something. Is that right here, camera is fixed. It's different. It's interesting. You go off screen. It's a little more sluggish than usual over here. may be able to snap it a little bit faster when it's time to snap. Let's try this. Middle ground. But yeah, that's it right there, I think. Okay, cool. That was easy to program in with our existing system. It's fine, yeah. I think it's fine like that. I do want to pull this camera back a little bit more, this default camera. Because as it stands, you can't really see the exit that well. Also, no, I don't want the altitude of the camera being messed with when there is already a temp target. Delta equals target Y. Target Y. Okay, this is all the whole player on floor business. Changes target Y, but if there's a temp target, then target Y is... yeah, that's the problem. Should be this, else this, I think. Yeah, I don't want the camera jumping around when I'm jumping around. Hey, pull that camera back out. What did I just tell you? This way. There we go. We can go right and down to frame this a bit better. Let's go a little more right. I want to kind of center it a bit. Do-do-do-do-do-do. You found a thing. All right, yeah. Decent. Decent. Let's extend the camera zone out there. There we go. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. That's a room. One room. We finished the foyer. At some point we need to do the save system. Whee! Bye! Foyer with a secret. That's true. We went above and beyond on the plan. And made a whole secret in addition. So that's a great point. We don't even have a thing to collect yet, but we will. Yeah, I like the idea of... So, let's see. Thousand Year Door. It had a ton of star pieces. Those were like your default. You did some exploration. You get a little extra. You know, you checked the bushes. You smacked the trees. Here's your extra bonus. Shine Sprite, which you can trade in for some special rare badges. Cool. With variable costs. You know, better badges cost more. Up to 15, I think. But as low as like 3. So you find a few of them and you can get a cool badge. Shine Sprites. These were sometimes a little hidden, but usually they wanted you to find these because they were used for leveling up your partners, which was something you could do twice per partner. And it was very specifically blocked off, like you cannot proceed with this. Like they only distribute just enough to keep up with your new partners if you find all of them. But they're not like super hidden. Some of them are like, it's literally right there. You have no choice but to see it as you're passing by. You may as well grab it. They were valuable because like partners leveling up, that's more health for the partner, more attack power, like a permanent +1 damage for any given partner. That's huge. Energy drinks. Yay. Bug Fables had crystal berries, which I feel like those were the Shine Sprite equivalent. They were, they were sprinkled all over the place in little nooks and crannies. And then I think it also had library books. Your reward for that was just lore. It was like, oh yeah, you return the library book and the librarian will tell you a little bit more about the world. Like, all right, that's cool. There probably were some other things as well of just little minor collectibles, but I think those were the major ones. So it went a very different path. But yeah, I like the idea of seeds, and you take them to like a garden, a specific garden somewhere. I don't want it to be something that's like tied to the place where it's like, oh no, you found the seed, you plant the seed there, because some of these are going to be out of the way, and you're not going to want to come back. But I really like the idea of having like some place in the hub, which canonically is going to be underneath this mechanical city or something. And then like in this very industrial, infrastructure heavy place, there's just going to be this just tons of empty plots of soil. Yeah, exactly. And the music can get like more complex after certain tiers, and it just gets more and more full. And then occasionally, the fruits of it grant you something, some kind of bonus. But that would be a very fun one. It's going to be less common than Korok seeds, but they're going to be probably the common collectible. And I have to make sure that it's that there's not just random other seeds in the game that would make seeds as a resource seem less impactful. All right, I guess let's hook this room up. No, I can't hook this room up yet. I can hook it up to the debug room. That's an idea, though. Can I remember how to do that? How do I make an exit? You need an exit zone and an entry point, and the entry point has to have a position. Exit zone and entry point, that's it. Is entry point a scene? It is a scene. There it is, exit zone, entry, okay, cool. All right, exit zone. I choose you. Let's see here. Child node, node 3D. I give you tabs. Let's folder these south and north. All right. Add an exit zone into south. That looks almost like the right spot. Okay, so exit zone is where you are going to. In this case, we're gonna go to, what is this? What is this room? This room is 99A. Let's go to 99A top 2. 99A top 2. There we go. So there's our exit from the room. And we need the entry zone. The entry point. What's going on with my positioning here? Is this 0, 0, 0? Is this 0, 0, 0? Okay, I don't know why then. All right, let's canonically move that there. Exit zone. Scoot on over, buddy. There we go. Much better. Entry point. Should be somewhere around here. Bop, bop. Bop, 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 bop. 0. 0.2. I think sounds about right. Entry code. South. All right. Now we can duplicate this, call it the North tab, and move it to the appropriate position, which is up here, but up higher. And rotate it around 180 degrees. And up 1. Yeah, 1. Okay, and this one has an entry point called North. And where does it go? It takes us to the same place. Sure. Bow, wow. All right, so if we go in here, let's take us to the south one. Nope, because I didn't edit that. All right, this one here. This is now going to Chapter 1, H-South. Whoops, walking the wrong way, apparently. Whoops, okay. Got that wrong, apparently. All right, entry point. Ah, yep, I sure did. I sure did. Do that. Then this entry point. Similarly, flip it around. Do like that. Okay. And we're in. We've got our camera. It does its thing. We're going up. Hey! Incredible. All right, it works. Against all odds. Go out, we go in. I think what'll help is some good good sound design in here. Dripping water and stuff would look cool. Sound cool. This next room is not going to be as dark. Like, the only reason this room is particularly dark is I really want to have these nice hard shadows indicating like you are coming into the cave. You know what? I gotta say, the terrain overall, from being made of these little pieces, that doesn't look half bad. It's got enough visual interest to kind of work. Oh, you know, I think a really nice thing to have would be a nice like dark stalactite. Like this is that's kind of what I was going for here, but it didn't quite turn out how I wanted. Like I want this stalactite that shows up to be like maybe right here. Let's see what that looks like. Thank you for the follow. Close, but I don't want this light on it. and I need it to be higher, further over there, and dark. Okay, that's about the right spot. A little down, a little down. All right, turn the lights back on in here. Let's take these light blockers and let's add another light blocker over here. Make it nice and dim. Oops. Wait, don't. It's not dark enough yet. Okay, check it. Let's see if this works. Do we get... it's still got light on it. It's still got light on it. Here. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. That's what I want. I want that silhouette of stalactites. So, it's black magic I've found. There was some really goofy stuff that I found working with Sprite 3D. So I have major warnings if you are interested in going that route with anything. So what I wanted to go for was Paper Mario style or Bug Fable style. I mean, we're listening to Bug Fable's music. But I kept running into this really weird issue. And I think I still have the capture I took of the problem. Yeah, here we go. All right, so check this out. So what would happen? What I was originally doing is actually overlaying multiple Sprite 3Ds on top of each other because I wanted to be able to swap out like just the face and rotate just the arms, for instance. But for some dumb reason, the way that meshes are drawn, the ordering of it, when you want to get transparency, what you have to do... Do I have any good examples here? Probably not. Let's just pick frog. So what you have to specify is on your sprites, on your Sprite 3Ds, flags, you have to set the alpha cut to opaque pre-pass. That does give it shadows. But it does some weird stuff with the alpha layer. Because I don't know if it's like the default behavior or what. Something weird happens with the anti-aliasing, specifically when the calculation for which sprite is in front conflicts with which sprite is actually in front. The way that they calculate that is not unusual. It is the absolute distance between the center of the Sprite 3D and the camera. But you can very easily imagine situations where you have two planes that are very close to one another, and just depending on which way it's tilted, like we know this one is in front visually, it should be in front, but when you do this, you would heuristically think this one should be in front, but this one's center, because its center is all the way back here, is technically closer to the camera. And you get these weird effects that you can see on screen here, where the partially opaque, the partially transparent pixels lose their anti-aliasing. And I don't know specifically what combination of things was causing that, but I did manage to fix it by, I basically just dropped the multi-sprite 3D approach and instead did multiple sprite 2Ds and threw it in a viewport. And I'm using that viewport as the texture. So although I'm still getting all the bonuses of having like, whoops, that's not a good one. I'm getting the bonuses of having multiple sprites that I can move independently. It's treating it as a single texture because I've got it all in a sub viewport. It's really weird. So watch out if you ever want to try anything like that. You got to come up with some solution, and that's what I went with. The other option was to do something more like what Bug Fables does. Have a good night, Al. what Bug Fables does is they don't do the multiple sprites like Thousand Year Door does. It's a good emote. Dupu should be proud. All that Bug Fables does is just does sprite sheets. Like every character is a single drawn image. 2.5 has been really fun. I've really enjoyed working with it. It is a unique challenge, but visually it's distinct. It really stands out a bit. You can do some really fun stuff playing around with flat sprites, because I don't have to use just a sprite 3D. I can slap this viewport on a plain mesh that's subdivided and have those vertices doing all kinds of fun things. I mean, I know Thousand Year Door already covered a lot of that ground of things like, take that plane and roll it into a tube, fold it into a paper airplane. You can actually do that kind of stuff with this. So it's really fun. I haven't done any weird stuff. I haven't gotten weird with it yet, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it later on. Get out of here, snail. But it's been very fun, and it really stretches like working in both 2D and 3D. But animations are not too bad with this. Like 3D animations, you're gonna have to get into skeletons and armatures and all that kind of good stuff. Which, if you've got experience with it, great. But if you're coming in kind of new, 2D animation is a lot more intuitive. Of just like, rotate this, insert a keyframe, move this other thing, set a keyframe, scale this, set a keyframe. So working with individual stuff like that has been not too bad. And now that I've gotten a few completed sprites and I've done like multiple animations on each, I've kind of got a streamlined process of like, all right, I need an idle animation, need a talking animation, need a jumping animation, need a getting hurt in combat, getting killed in combat, like all that stuff. I've got like a list of animations, and when I'm drawing sprites, it's like I know right away, all right, I need these, and like 3 sets of eyes. And then I'll just swap out the region rect. That was one of the reasons I really wanted to go with Sprite 3Ds initially over... I don't even remember what I was looking at initially, aside from that. But just how available the region rectangle property is in Godot, it makes it very easy to take just a block of pieces and just say, okay, boom, there's the head, there's the body, there's the first leg, there's the second leg, slap them together. There we go. There's our 4-piece paper doll kind of sprite. Looking good. Let's go. Gosh. All right. That one took a bit. For such a small room. And it's still not quite there, but this stalactite helps, especially with that little camera pan that it does at the start. That definitely is helping. Give this one a little bit of tilt, maybe. Yeah, it's been a fun project. I'm just happy to be able to tell people about the pitfalls, because oh my gosh, I'm running into all kinds of fun little things like that. I'm warning people. A little bit more to the right. There we go. That looks cool. That looks cool. And it only really looks cool specifically because of the way it kind of fades around with the camera panning, which that camera swoop is just a side effect of our current system. So we have to remember, if we ever change the camera, we need to make sure we get that working again. All right, let's make another one. I really like the look of that. Especially with the parallax effect. Close. A little bit too close to the blue light. Yeah. And then maybe one below. How's that look? Honestly, it would look better if this was not rotated 3 degrees. Okay, duplicate that. Flip the scale so that you know how in caves the way that columns form, it's like it's every stalactite should have a mirroring stalagmite realistically. Oh yeah. All right, that's what I like. Let's take both of those and scale down. Make them a little skinnier. Ooh, yeah. I'm just Bob Rossing this cave. Like, yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit more of that. That's looking like something. I think one thing that could really make this look cool. One more thing that I would really like to see on this. I think a good stalagmite in the foreground. Oh, it's almost there. It's almost there. A little bit higher, maybe a little bit to the left. Come on, come on. Yes, yes. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Get it a little bit more right. Let's get it up just a tad. All right, here we go. Here we go. That's pretty nice. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Just this really nice, sharp silhouette sweeping by with... Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. And then the little secret zone over here. Oh, you get a little prize. Good job, buddy. You did it. You noticed that there was light over there. You win. Okay. Save point somewhere. Obviously, maybe here, maybe there. I don't want to step on this stalactite's toes too much, though. Okay, that might be good enough right there. Because then we still got this nice clear area where you can get to a save point and then proceed into the mini dungeon. Whew, all that for a foyer. It's a tiny room. And that's it. We're gonna end stream in like 10 minutes or so. All right. So let's go over what we learned tonight, at least. I may go ahead and start blocking out room I a little bit. I like how we've started with room F, just because I didn't want to start with the town and everything. We're kind of starting in the middle and working out for chapter 1. Okay, so the big thing we learned here. The big thing is, well, we learned about shadow blocking or light blocking meshes. That was a useful thing because that lets us get these nice cool, like, look at that, the light from outside pouring in this like sudden harsh darkness. And also, we kind of get this for free. I didn't have to do anything to make the sprite actually unshaded. We already had that set up properly. That is what we wanted. I'm worried that at some point we're not going to want that anymore, and then we're going to forget about this room and how that would be a nightmare to walk out here and not be able to see the character anymore. Surely that won't be a problem. Whee. Other nice thing is we added in the extra camera controls for hard locked camera, like this is, and it's zone based. Are there actual floors over in that dark area? Yes. There's actual texture and everything. It's just you can't see a thing. Turn the lights back on. So it actually has things there in case we do add some kind of lighting stuff later. Mostly I just really wanted the pitch black. No, I've actually got... Here we go. Here's my little block out of the area. We just built this beautiful texture tonight of 1x1. I used to play a lot of Team Fortress 2, and you would see a lot of maps in this style of this orange box texturing. And it was super useful because you could clearly see, like, okay, at a glance, how many blocks wide is this? It's like, oh, 2, easy. And here's what's really cool about this system that I like. We just started trying this tonight. Let me scale this temporarily to show it off. Look at this. It's a triplanar texture lined to world coordinates. And the result is that no matter how you scale it, the texture always aligns to the grid of the map, which is perfect because you don't have to worry about, like, oh wait, is that actually 1 block or did I scale this block a little bit to get that height right? Doesn't matter. So that's the what is that? So that's in the UV settings, triplanar and world triplanar lets you get away with that, and that makes it so that no matter how you move things around, it's grid aligned, which is just perfect. I love it. It's so good. Yeah, so the idea tonight was, okay, let's try, because I've gotten into this zone of like, oh, I'm gonna build out the entire level as a single piece in Blender, and now suddenly it's impossible to change. It's like if I want to tweak something, I gotta open up Blender, I gotta edit the vertices just right. You gotta re-export it, then re-import it to Godot. You know, jump through all these hoops. Like, let's not do that. Let's just make a block and then just scale and change it as we need to, and then add decoration after the fact once we feel like this is the appropriate size of the room. That workflow is working a lot better for me, and I think we're gonna stick with that for a while. A lot of this project has been just trying to find what workflow gels with my strengths and weaknesses. And so far, yeah, like, I built out this huge room in Blender, which isn't, admittedly, it's not geometrically complex. I added just a bunch of notches and edges just to kind of spice it up a bit. But the result is I've got this huge room, and I'm not going to come up with nearly enough interesting things to fill it with. Like, if I sprinkle enemies in this room, like, I don't want to have a ton of enemies and just spam those everywhere. That doesn't seem appropriate for the style. So really what I should be doing is making this room, like, at least half the size, probably less than that. Like, I should scale it down quite a bit. Just to fit the content. PK, yeah, you're just in time for me to say goodnight. We're just going over the lessons learned from today. I need to change these trees over here. These are too circular and round. Honestly, yeah, there's a lovely website. Let's see here. Noclip.website. Check this out. Chapter 1. Path to Hooktail Castle. There it is. Now there's no enemies on this screen, and like that's it. River Bridge. There's like 2 enemies on this screen. There's like 1 over here and maybe 2 over here, and that's the second scene of chapter 1. That's it. That's it. There's nothing here. It's a straight line. Oh, and then you're not even there anymore. This is all chapter 1 looks like. Is just like, and then the next screen is just again, but like a slightly different shade of green, and then and a slightly different shade of green. Like even the mini dungeon. What is it? Entrance for Schwank. Oh no, below that. This is it. It's just this. This is the dungeon. This is your first dungeon. Linear hallways. There's 1 or 2 enemies in each. And then a treasure. That's it. Look at those sliding textures. Nintendo is good at that. I will admit. They do a lot with very little. That's a tiny, you can tell that's a tiny texture. You can see the pixels. They're not doing any special shaders on that. There's no like white edge around the water or anything. It's just, that's it. No, that's all we needed. Anyway, yeah. 1,000-Year Door rooms are tiny. I want a middle ground. Bug Fables rooms get a little expansive at times. And that kind of works for it. The puzzle rooms are a lot bigger and more complex. I'd like a nice middle ground. I think something in between is nice. This room that I made is way too big. We've learned our lesson. We need to block things out ahead of time. It's fine. Whoops, I just closed the music accidentally. We are gonna go do a raid. We do not get to raid this guy very much. Lurking Turtle. He's finally getting back into streaming. We've got a small little collection of streamer friends that we like to do a lot of stuff online together. And Turtle is one of that crew. Well, gosh. None of us have I think Germdove is the only one of our group that still has like a main game, and that's Super Mario World. The rest of us are just playing whatever we want now. We've grown as people. He's playing Mario Kart, so we'll hang out for a bit. I'm gonna be heading down for bed pretty soon. But I feel like tonight was productive. I gotta make sure I commit these changes to the GitHub repo, because I do not want to lose that. Doing the dance. Thank you guys for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. The schedule currently is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're doing game dev. Sunday is usually Dungeons and Dragons, but I think we're skipping this coming week, so I'll be streaming something else. And that's going to be the schedule basically for the next month or so until Factorio update releases. And then, well, that's going to be it for game dev for a while. I'll still do some off stream, but on stream, I'm pretty much exclusively going to be playing Factorio for a while because I have a problem. That's it. PK, you said the thing that he was going to say. All right, everybody, I'll see you over there. Have a good night. Take care.